Chapter 3 of A Blue Lark Sang. Amelia flies over land as black as the belly of the ocean. Forests and farmers' fields, villages and towns, all are buried deep beneath a dark cloth. If she travels far enough east, she will catch the sun and visualizes it like a mango sliced in half. But tonight the sun does not interest her. Instead, she is heading for London. Lately, the city has been calling to her more and more, and her inability to understand why is causing insurmountable frustration when awake. It is as if her will is a needle and her spirit the compass that must reach its destination. No matter where she sleeps in the world, always she will find her way back to London, yet never does she seek the home that she has shared with Wilbert since she was 13. There is nothing for me in the city, not unless Wilbert is there. It's empty without him, the buildings and streets filled with strangers as distant as the moon. So what magnet is drawing me there continually? The warm night is clear. Chimneys are empty of coal, although within weeks the air will be clogged with smoke. Vigilant of potential danger, Amelia strolls along cobbled roads still dressed in her nightgown and shawl, her eyes darting to alleyways and shop fronts where vagrants old and young sometimes sleep. No gas street lights are lit tonight. This is not a concern for Amelia, who trusts her intuition to alert her to the presence of another. Careful not to be distracted, the failure to listen had almost been fatal. The ghost at Bethlehem had observed Amelia some years ago from cunning vantage points as she drifted through crowded cells and corridors. That had been one of her mistakes. Curiosity had caused her awareness to be diverted, allowing those who sought her harm to lay a snare. She had been followed and failed to read the danger signs because of the activity that living created, their energy wildly kinetic. Never before had she witnessed so many dysfunctional minds caging trapped souls. Just in time she saw two haggard women and an emaciated man with reddish pocked skin circling her, their intention to latch on and possess her thwarted. Their cunning eyes seemed larger than normal, the whites more a yellow colour, and their heads looked too big for their skeletal frames. And what made her notice them? It should have been the man's vile nakedness. No, she thinks, I should have known instinctively. Instead, it was a voice. Amelia, this is no place for you to be. They have seen you. Go, now. Bethlehem vanished in an instant, and she had crashed back into her body and awake with no invasion from her hunters. But it had been worth the danger just to hear her mother's cherished voice. That was the very last time. Walking along deserted cobbled lanes between shops, inns and an undertaker's, Amelia veers to the right at the end and lets her fingers trail along an iron fence in front of an expanse of terraced houses. Soon she encounters the dense shape of a church and senses that all of the graves in the small cemetery are empty of ghosts. The heart of the city is not too far away. During an afternoon nap or very early in the mornings, Amelia will fly to St. Paul's Cathedral and sit on the top of the dome and stare across London. It is one of her favourite views. This place is desolate. Why am I here? Where am I going? The temptation to seek danger did not last long after Bethlehem, and yet now she would risk everything just to have one more moment with her mother. The half moon hangs differently in reverse, and Amelia is convinced it has more than two faces. Just as she begins to grow bored and contemplates returning home, she hears crying and catches a movement ahead, hurrying past buildings to a clearing. Striving to catch up with the girl or woman who is shrouded in gauze, so that even daylight would make it near impossible to see her face, Amelia abandons her prudence. Amelia, what have I told you about safety? I'm a kite, Mama. No, you are a little girl and your body is very important, so important that you must never let anything or anyone return with you. Why not? Because when you are flying, your body is vulnerable. It is open to bad influences. You know far more than I do about your gift, my little bird. It is you who must teach me. Might a bad person live inside my body? I do not know. This is new to me too. So we shall presume that bad people will want to live inside a little girl who will grow into a strong, gifted woman. Therefore, you must never stay away for too long. Always be careful. Promise me, Amelia. Where shall I live if a bad person will not let me live in my body? Promise me you will never take risks. I promise, Mama. Away from buildings, Amelia rushes over grass, her feet barely touching the earth. Wait, she calls. The figure stops and turns, and Amelia halts too in mild shock. "You can hear me. Who are you?" The figure is obscure and impossible to decipher, which confuses Amelia, but despite this she moves a little closer. The night grows more silent as if keen to spy. The ghost resumes her urgency. "Wait, why are you crying?" Ignoring her instincts, Amelia follows and loses the woman beyond rows of trees. Flying over them, she lands on the other side and is dismayed to discover she is once again alone. Curious, she listens deliberately for a sign that returns no clue as to where the girl or woman is hiding. She is gone, she concludes, vanished, perhaps awoken in bed or back to the realm of ghosts. Is this not such a realm, she observes? Startled out of the adventure, Amelia realises she is at the edge of a beach. The tide is low and laps softly at the sand and debris that are exposed. There are rowing boats tied together, and everything remains camouflaged in jet. Looking at the sky, Amelia contemplates the birth of stars and likens the miraculous process to the birth of humans. A spark so powerful that it ignites into a reality when a moment before it physically did not exist. What is death but the opportunity for a new beginning? And then Amelia notices something or someone lying motionless, half on the sand and half in the water, just a yard away from where she stands. Frowning, she suddenly understands. "I know you are here. Do not be afraid. I will not harm you." Crouched behind one of the empty rowing boats, a dark figure stands. Drawing close, she tentatively stops on the other side of the body. "I thought it would be the end." "Why?" asks Amelia. "It's what I wanted," the girl, who is almost 17, says tearfully. "How long ago? You mean since?" "I don't know. Tonight, yesterday, a week ago?" "Will the night never end?" she asks with a shiver. "What is your name?" "Mabel." "Why did you do this?" "He said he didn't love me anymore. Said he found someone better, more refined. The whore works in the butcher's cleaning up the blood and guts. That killed me. I gave him everything I had and it weren't enough. I couldn't think straight. All I wanted was to shut out the pain. But it kept on growing like a rotting toenail that takes its ugly time. I told him I'd show him, I'd make him suffer. I dreamt about sticking a knife into his heart so that he could feel some tiny piece of what I'm going through. I'd stick one in that whore too." "Did you?" The girl cries into her hands and wishes she could forget. "What do you think? I went against God and this is my punishment." Collapsing onto her knees, Mabel reaches out her hand to the body, her blonde hair falling in the dark, and then snatches it back. "I wish I could scrub it away. What I've done, I mean. Can I?" she asks desperately. "The past cannot be changed." "Then what good are you if you can't help me?" she snaps. "Sorry, I will leave you be." "No, please don't go. Don't leave. I didn't mean to." "He always said I had a temper on me. Don't go." Imagining the Thames as a river of blood, Amelia understands now why she was unable to read the girl. "London Bridge. What about it?" "You jumped from it. You have not long since crossed over." The girl slumps forward and cries again into her hands. "I made a mistake. God forgive me. I made a mistake. I hate the night. Help me get back into my body. Help me, please," she implores, and screams as her hands sink into her dead torso. "Amelia!" Head turning at the distant sound of her name, Amelia flees instantly from the horrific scene. Thank you.